how do we ensure that we're translating economic growth into real opportunities? I think a key thing that I've seen in my experience is that even if economic growth is happening, it doesn't automatically mean that it'll translate into opportunities, particularly for young people. What does translate into opportunities is when leaders are very intentional about what growth pathways look like into the economy. And I think three things have to be true. One is, are we ensuring that our workforce is upskilled with the skills that they need to succeed in our evolving world? So the skills you came into Eskom with can't be the same skills that will sustain you as Eskom changes, as the world evolves. I am an accountant by profession, but now I work for a creative agency. Everyone around me is a creative. And now I'm learning that I need to actually code and I need to be good at prompting, because everyone around me is using Claude and ChatGPT so efficiently. I can't still be stuck on tracking things using conditional formatting on Excel. It's not going to move me in the way it needs me to move. So are you constantly upskilling yourself, but is the firm also allowing you opportunities to be upskilled? You must have digital skills, you must have creativity skills. Those are the sorts of skills that from an AI perspective, it's very difficult to replace. A second thing is to say, if we're preparing you and if we're ensuring that you can reap the benefits of economic growth, do you have access to networks and to social capital? In such a large organization like an Eskom, having those networks is what gets you into the room. Cesar had mentioned as well that you need people in the room who are singing your praises in rooms that you don't have access into. So as leaders, are you introducing your team, are you introducing your mentees to the people who can continue opening doors for them even in your absence? And that's so important because you must be able to pay it forward. It's why in the women's network I run, Her Horizon, we get women to sit together, we pair them by interest, and we ensure that, all right, if you say that you want to work in management consulting, do you know Keti Wenguna, who is an executive at Accenture, who can open the doors for you? And that's the sort of intentional building that we do. The last thing to highlight is that intentional leadership requires intentional decisions in organizations. And Shamila had just made this point as well, which is, are we as leaders asking ourselves, okay, who are we hiring? What do we want Eskom to look like in the next few years? Who are we mentoring as well? And who are we promoting? Because sometimes we see that in certain organizations, you see that promotions look like a certain type of person, but surely that can't be acceptable and that can't be the norm. How are we ensuring that we are promoting equitably in how we go about things? Just as I close, I just wanted to share one story, which is that in my leadership journey, I'm so grateful that when I moved to these last two organizations, I had male sponsors open the doors for me. And it was, I was at a panel discussion for a book launch for GE's previous CEO, Nyimbini Mabunda, and I sat with Vugani, who was the CEO of Accenture, is now at Microsoft. After the panel, he came to me and said, I need you to work for me. You can pick whatever role you want, but you're the sort of person I want to work for me. He brought Vari, who is an amazing exec at Accenture, and Vari said, Vugani's not going to do the paperwork, he's too busy, I'll do it, leave it to me. And she made that happen. This role at Canva now, it was Dr. Nzamo Masito who said to me, in the interview process, he took me out for coffee and he said, all right, it's salary time. Whatever they're offering you is going to be super low. I want you to come at whatever ridiculous number you have. And of course, that's breaching the flow, but he was like, I want you to do well. And that's what he did. And I got the number that I thought of. And I remember when I was telling HR on the phone, this is my number, I heard the lady hesitate, and she's from Australia, and Australians are very polite like us as well. But she was hesitating a bit, and she's like, yeah, that's fine, we can do it. And I remember being like to my hubby, what? I just agreed. And so that just shows you that there are mentors and sponsors around you. And I know we're having this conversation for Women's Day, but sometimes mentors and sponsors will be men. And it's important that you also allow men to open the door for you when that happens.
Great, thank you so much.